Hi, my name is Jeremy Humphreys, and on this video bite, we'll be looking at how to achieve a shallow depth of field on your Sony FS7 camera. I used to be a BBC focus puller. I had to use my eyes and, if I was lucky, a tape measure to gauge how far away my actors were from the camera. Initially, I used to hate it. Getting them in focus was tricky. But as I got good at it, I realised why my DOP was actually wanting to use a shallow depth of field. Up to 80% of our viewers' attention, 80%, can be directed to something that's in focus as opposed to out of focus. So how on the FS7 can we achieve a shallow depth of field? Of course, you're starting off with a super 35mm sensor on your FS7 camera, which means in itself we will have a shallower depth of field. Have a look at my shot here. I focused on the bottle in the foreground. Crucially though, look top left and you'll see my f-stop. I try and shoot everything at f4 or below. Using my f-stop at f4 or below helps me utilise a shallow depth of field. But of course at the moment, the bottle in the background is a little bit out of focus, so it's not particularly out of focus. It's only when I start using a zoom and zooming in and increasing the focal length that the bottle in the background will go out of focus. So it's f-stop at f4 or below, and it's actually using the focal length, zooming in. Both of those combined will achieve a shallow depth of field. However, I've got one more trick up my sleeve. Look top left, I'm still on f4. I can actually apply an ND filter. There we go. It gets a little bit dark, of course. I can open up my aperture and look at the bottle in the background. It goes even more out of focus. So achieving a shallow depth of field is conditional on your sensor, your f-stop and your focal length. The sensor, you have a super 35mm sensor. Your f-stop, I'm advising f4 or below. And as you've seen, I use NDs inside as well as out. And focal length, you will find you have to increase your focal length to actually achieve that shallow depth of field. And all of this, of course, is based on what your story is and what your shot is.